It's like average.
Recording
Totally
because this is
average.
an interesting
You
conversation.
missed my whole monologue, but yeah, that's
Well, I'll
okay.
continue your monologue.
Please continue. Yeah,
So Stormy was just monologuing off mic
yeah.
about how in her head her voice is really deep and cool. And I feel the exact same way. And I
Right.
think everybody else does because we're hearing our voice through like so much bone in our skull.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is an actual thing.
Dude,
Um,
yeah.
the it's kind of muffling your voice a bit so it sounds deeper when you hear it. So we were just
Yeah.
reflecting back on the early days of the podcast and how similar we
Yeah,
sound.
we do. It's kind of cool, and it's cool because like I don't think there's any other person I know who sounds like me when I speak as much as you do, and probably me with you, maybe.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think that's cool.
And we do so little face content that they can't prove we're not the same person,
Yeah,
just
they don't
doing
know.
slightly different
Yeah,
uh
just like
cadences.
yeah, like cadences and like and like tones and stuff and like wow, what if we were one person but we were extremely good at like making it seem like we're talking at the same time?
Yeah.
That's wild shit.
And we're specifically good at Pittsburgh accent and a Midwest accent.
Yeah. And like, but when I listen to you and me, I can't hear either, but I'm sure other people,
Hmm.
excuse me, can hear that. You know what I mean? So I find that very interesting as well because I hear myself, I'm like, I feel like I have no accent at all. Do you ever
Hmm.
feel that way?
I do.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't
Um,
have an accent. I sound like
and
whatever.
also at work, sometimes I feel like I am putting on an accent, like I'm intentionally trying to sound dumber so the kids will accept me. I'm not calling the kids dumb. I'm just saying I'm trying not to sound so mature and I have a master's degree in front of the children. I want them to accept me.
Yeah, they don't
And
want a smart person.
they want someone they can relate to, someone they can
Right.
go to if they're having problems.
Exactly. Exactly. No, I totally know what you mean. I feel like when I taught, I had to kind of like do something like that too,
Mhm.
because I didn't want to like talk about stuff. I didn't want to speak with words they didn't understand. Like,
You want
like
to be
other
more
people,
on their level.
right? Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. And plus, I'm not gonna like try, and I didn't want to try to like do that to impress them or do
Hmm.
that to like scare them. I just talk to them to try to talk to, probably just like I'm talking to you now. Um, so yeah, I think that you're you're doing well with dumbing down the voice because sometimes you got to do that in a certain environment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But anyway, speaking of very interesting voices that can
Yes.
be very high pitched
For a
and
moment, I forgot
cute
we
and
were
shit.
recording.
Yeah. That was a
Welcome
great
to
segue.
to the Real Horror Show podcast, a horror movie review podcast where we review horror movies from Netflix, Hulu, Shudder, and everything in between. Sorry, that sounded weird for some reason. My paragraph
Horror movies.
jumped a line at horror movies.
Yes. Horror movies.
I'm your host, Sam Odie.
And I'm your host, Stormy Skies. It's been a while.
Welcome to our podcast. Today we will be reviewing Maxine,
Maxine.
20, a 2024 American horror film written, directed, produced, and edited by Ty West. It is the third installment in West's X film series following X and Pearl, both released in 2022, and this serves as a direct sequel to the former. Mia Goth reprises her role in X as Maxine Minx, starring alongside Elizabeth Debicki, Moses Sumney, Michelle Monaghan, Bobby Cannavale, Halsey, Lily Collins, and Kevin Bacon. And Juan I should he was in Breaking Bad. I should know how to say his name. Gus was in this movie.
Oh, yeah, Giancarlo
Thank you. I
Esposito.
wanted to say
Yes.
Giancarlo, but I was so scared I was gonna sound so
Yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito I got because I
Yeah.
had a friend with that last name in school. Yeah, he's in
Oh,
it, and
yeah.
as always, he's wonderful. We love him.
Yes. We love him. I love
Um,
him.
and in this film, Maxine sets out for fame and success in 1980s Hollywood while being targeted by a mysterious killer. And this is how we like to break it down: characters and acting, story and writing, and lastly, production. And then we like to discuss the real horrors this movie addresses. Sometimes they're serious, and sometimes we like to have a little bit of goofy fun. That being said, we're a horror movie podcast. So here's a general trigger warning: we talk about death, blood, guts, and other unsavory topics that might not be suitable for everyone, although we do try to do so sensitively. Listeners' discretion is advised. Movies are then rated on a scale of what the fuck did I just watch? No redeeming, which means there's no redeeming qualities to be found. Meh, it's okay. And ah, yeah, that fucked me up. What all horror should strive to be. So let's get started.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Maxine
Dang.
was a little controversial when it came out. Not a lot of people I felt liked it. They felt let down by it. And it led me to question, because Pearl
Why?
became very popular on like mainstream TikTok.
Yeah.
Because Pearl is iconic. She's a mess. The whole I'm a star became
Yes.
a meme.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people justifiably get Pearl and Maxine mixed up or think
Yes.
they are the same person,
Yeah.
which they're not. And I
Yep.
understand why people would think that because they're both played by Maya Goth.
Yep.
And because I remember, the hype for this movie and everybody saying they can't wait to see Maxine go face to face with the Night Stalker and kick his ass. I'm like, but Maxine's not a serial killer.
Right.
Like Pearl is the serial killer. Maxine is a final girl.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that being said, I think Maxine's trajectory from X to this movie works.
Yeah. I really liked this movie.
I did too, and
I really, really liked it.
I couldn't
Yeah.
believe that it got so many mixed reviews. Like the
Yeah,
vibes
geez.
were immaculate. It felt like a grungy 80s movie.
Dude, yeah, it was really cool. I even thought about it the day after.
Yeah. What about the ball stomping scene?
I thought the dude was like super hot, not gonna lie, but I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
And
that was great.
she was such a badass, and like I loved watching her. She was so beautiful the whole time. I love her with
hmm
blonde hair.
hmm
Um,
Yeah,
and
it
it was
really
long. It was really cool. Yeah,
yeah, the blonde hair really hides the lack of eyebrows.
Oh, interesting. I
Because
didn't
she does
notice.
Mia Goth doesn't have eyebrows.
Not a whole lot.
Not
Yeah, you're
not a
right.
lot, not a
Not
lot.
very much.
And it's much more noticeable when she has dark hair because usually the brows match the hair.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, we also, this movie is much more stacked than the previous two installments when it comes to supporting cast.
Ooh,
We had Brittany Snow in the first one, and Brittany Snow is always amazing. She's always a treasure.
yes.
But X was really kind of Mia Goth's launching pad. We knew about her, but that was kind of the movie that, oh shit, Mia Goth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have Kevin Bacon, who is a low-key horror daddy. He
Low
was,
key, yep.
as we all know, he was in the original Friday the 13th. It was
That was
like his,
his,
it
yeah,
was his first role.
first role.
And so it's always nice to see him in horror.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
doesn't do a lot, but when he does, it's great.
I just love Kevin Bacon. I
I
love
know.
him. He's so
He's
great.
wonderful.
I love to see it.
He's so great. And Lily
Yeah.
Collins, I love Lily Collins.
Yeah, I knew I recognized her. Yeah, Lily
Yeah.
Collins. It's so funny because these people they're such big names and they're even in it for such a brief
hmm
time, but it's still really cool to have
Yeah.
them all in here.
Halsey,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
wasn't
love
super
her.
familiar with Halsey as an actress, and I fell into the trap of the Malsey meme, which is a very old recording of Halsey singing Miss
Yeah.
You by Blink-182 in a mall.
For real.
Yeah. Um, but no, I've recently gotten into Halsey and I've only really listened to her I think it's called Lucky, the song that uses Britney Spears' Lucky in the chorus.
Oh,
That's
cool.
I thought that music video and song were really good. So I
Yeah,
need to
you got to listen to the Badlands
I
album.
I do I need to get into Halsey.
Yeah, I got the Badlands came out when I was living in Alexandria, and I
Mhm.
think I got into it because I was working at Hot Topic,
Oh yeah.
and I don't know if it's like one of her first, but you'd love it. It's such a dark album.
Mhm.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah, I need to get into Halsey. I feel like I'd
Oh yeah,
actually like her a lot.
yeah, she's really a great musician, great artist.
Yeah. And Elizabeth Debicki, who we probably know best for her role as Princess Diana in season 5 of The Crown. I think it was season
Yes.
5.
I did not watch The Crown, but
Hmm.
this woman is 6'3", which is really cool.
I know she's very tall,
Super
very
tall,
elegant.
very elegant,
She's so
beautiful.
elegant, and the level of elegance she has in this role does not fit the type of movie they're making.
I know she was like too British. I'm like, damn, she's like, and then she looked too young, and I was like, she
Yeah.
like looks very beautiful and badass and cool. So I was like, all right, but yeah, you're right. It really didn't suited that much. I got what they're going for though. I'm sure I've seen her. There's a ton of movies that I've seen that she's in.
Hmm.
I just can't picture it. But yeah, she's cool.
Part of me wants to say she was Jordan in The Great Gatsby from 2010, but
Yeah, she's in The Great
okay,
Gatsby.
I'm right. Awesome. Good for me.
Jordan. Who's Jordan? The like other woman.
She is the other woman,
Yes.
I'm gonna call her, she and Nick were beards for each other. Nick is gay, Jordan's a lesbian.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to go with the straight interpretation of their characters,
Yeah.
they were love interests, but she breaks up with him at the end.
Yes. But she's not the love of Leonardo's life in The Great Gatsby. That's the other woman.
Yeah, that's Daisy Buchanan.
Daisy Buchanan. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. No,
Cool.
I think I like X a lot, but I think this is a solid sequel to X. If Pearl didn't exist, I don't think this would have gotten the mixed reactions that it did. And I think
Yeah.
this is more of a production note, but I'll just throw it in here.
Yeah.
Ty West's vision for this one was to address, the home video release of horror and how that shaped horror. And I think it does a very good job. This one is
Yeah.
grittier and a little more, not even exploitive, but just more what you would expect from a straight to VHS release of a horror movie in the 80s.
Yeah, for sure.
Where the first one was a great tribute to 70s horror. Like, you can't watch that movie and not think Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Dude, yeah. Exactly. Absolutely. Um, I must say I liked Maxine better than X. I don't know why. I don't know. But yeah,
Maybe
go
that's
go
it's
off.
very vibey. I like the vibes. I like
Yeah.
neon. It's no secret that I'm a huge fan of neon lights.
Yes.
It had a great aesthetic.
I think I liked it so much because like Maxine was just she was just front and center the whole time.
Hmm.
And she is an excellent actress and I loved watching her. I think she did such a great job and
Hmm.
there's so many great actors with her, but she like stole the movie. I don't know why
I
people didn't like
agree.
it.
I
It's
agree. I would
crazy.
say watching these so close back to back to back, I mean,
Yeah.
so close, there's been a
Yeah.
couple months between,
Yeah.
but
But still, yeah.
Maxine has been consistent as a character from first appearance to second appearance, and I think that's
Yes.
rare, especially
Yes.
since Pearl happened in the middle, and Pearl is a very different character that Mia Goth had to
Way
take
different.
over,
Yeah, way different.
not take over, but willingly play.
Yeah.
And I think that's a testament to the writing of
Mhm.
Ty West that and Mia Goth to an extent, because I know she helped a lot with the story in Pearl, that Maxine is so consistent and she definitely has much more of a personality
Yeah.
in. Maxine than she did in X. In X, she
Yeah.
was very quiet, very demure, if you will. Didn't
Yeah.
She didn't really say a lot. We didn't know a lot about her.
Right. Yeah. That's why I love that she was like the main
Hmm.
character finally of
Yeah.
this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know a lot about her until the end kind of dropped that bomb that she's the daughter of the preacher we kept hearing on the radio and on the TV in X. And that comes to a head in this movie that we get a conclusion to that, um,
Hmm.
which we'll get to in a minute when we stop praising Mia Goth's performance.
Yeah.
But there's like a 6 year time gap
Yeah.
between X and Maxine. And I
Hmm.
think that time gap helped her grow
Yeah.
off screen. She's much more experienced. She's a star in the porn industry. She's ready to break into mainstream movies, and we see that she's much more experienced. She's much more confident in herself as an actress,
Hmm.
and hasn't she's traumatized from what happened. We don't get a lot of nods to X because Ty West wanted this movie to be able to stand on its own, and I think it did, and that's another good homage to the VHS era and the home release era of horror, because you get these sequels that really don't have anything to do with the previous movie.
Right. Yeah.
And one that immediately comes to mind is the Slumber Party Massacre movies.
Huh. I've never seen those.
Oh, they're so bad, but they're so good. And that also popped in my head because those are one of the movies where I feel like, I think the director wanted to make a porno, but he decided to do horror instead because the girls are, of course, wearing slutty lingerie at their
Oh, for real.
sleepover. So it makes sense that porn stars could use bad home release horror movies to break out of porn and get into legit acting that we see Maxine do.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the, sorry, I'm trying to remember because there's something so stupid and funny. I think it's Sorority House Massacre 2
Yeah.
that uses footage from the original Slumber Party movie as flashbacks to the first movie. It's something like that.
Oh, okay. I
It's
see what you
very
mean. Yeah.
it's very stupid, and I can't believe that got through
Oh, that's funny.
editing. But yeah, moving into story, which we've started moving into, she's in LA. She's supporting herself. She's a very successful porn star and also does some stripping on the side.
Hmm. Just a busy girl, but
She's a
I
busy girl.
appreciate that she's always at work because that's work for her.
Yeah, she's working hard. She's got a great support system. Her best friend is Halsey, and it's nice to see because you can easily go rival stripper route with these
Yeah,
characters. But no,
exactly.
she and Halsey love each other, and it's so sad what happens to Halsey.
Yes, very sad. Halsey, and then like that other girl who's like her
Mhm.
bud too.
Yeah. Her friends start getting murdered, and they think
Yeah,
it's the Night Stalker, of course. And
naturally. Yeah.
she also has another great support system, which is her friend. I can't remember his name, the guy who works in the video rental shop.
Leon.
Leon?
Yeah, his name is actually Leon, I think.
Ooh. Well,
Like
I liked him a lot. He was a very good friend and did not want to sleep with her. Well, maybe he did, but
I think he was supposed to be gay.
oh, you think he was gay?
I think he was gay, and I think that's why he like made mention that he didn't want to sleep with her. And I think that's why he's so nerdy about like movies and stuff.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought he was just a
Yeah.
good dude.
Maybe it was that too, but I totally got like a gay thing.
Okay.
I'll have to
Well, that
see.
works. Well,
Yeah.
he's a cool dude. He works at a video rental shop and he's very supportive of Maxine and just a good friend to her. She has better friends now than she did in the first movie,
Yeah, yeah. Dang. She
where
sure does.
everybody was just there to have sex.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
But her friends keep getting murdered, and because it's women and because the Night Stalker is out, the police think it's him, and the police are also a little suspicious of Maxine because it was her two friends that were killed. And then Leon gets killed, and it's like, oh shit, that's not helping things.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Uh-oh, now my friends are dead, so like I don't have any more friends."
Yeah, and while all of this is happening, she gets offered the role of a lifetime. Well, for her at least,
Oh yeah.
in The Pilgrim 2.
Yep. A sequel horror movie to a major, like I think they said that was like a B-rated horror movie, but it's
Yeah,
like a cult classic now.
a cult classic
Cult
B-rated horror movie getting a straight to home release.
classic.
So you know it's going to be a great launching pad for her career. But hey, it's
Yes.
not porn.
Yes, it's not. She's broken through.
She has broken through. And then the original actress from the first movie is murdered,
Oh, yes, yes, she is, because
played
they
by Lily
keep
Collins.
going. They're going to mysterious parties in Hollywood Hills.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
But
the mysterious party. Sorry, I forgot about that.
yeah, they keep going there, and that's where they're ki getting killed, apart from Leon gets killed in the movie shop.
Hmm. Oh, sorry, it's not the Pilgrim 2, it's the Puritan 2. Same
Oh
thing.
man, I totally thought it was the Pilgrim. I was like, yep, the Puritan. You were right.
Yeah.
Puritan 2, The Return of the Pilgrim.
Um,
But yes, they go to the Hollywood Hills
yeah.
parties and die.
They go to these parties, they die. They think it's
Yeah.
the Night Stalker because that's going on. And
Yeah.
then police think it's Maxine. Um, Finally,
Yeah.
Maxine gets an invite to one of these Hollywood Hill parties. She goes, she finds another friend's dismembered body in the suit in a suitcase.
Yep.
And then she finds out the murders have been committed by her estranged father, the televangelist we saw in the first movie.
I called it when I first
Mhm.
watched. I was like, obviously it's probably your father, but
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't that
yeah.
big of a twist because they left us with this big like reveal at the end of the first movie that they had to wrap it up in some way.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
her father reveals that he and his followers have been filming the murders to create a snuff film intended to expose Hollywood for what he sees as its sinful, corrupting nature. And that's another interesting thing to bring up in regards to how home release videos changed the face of horror because with home release videos, we started getting snuff films. Yay
Oh
for us.
shit. That's right. We did, didn't we? Huh.
It's easy to forget about snuff films
It
when you're
is
not
easy.
on that side of the horror community.
Yes,
You know the
I
side
believe
that's
you're right.
the
Yeah.
dick measuring side, like, oh, have you seen this snuff film?
Yeah, yeah. And you know what it always is? It's always that one movie. Like, oh,
Serbian film.
I've seen a Serbian film, so
Which is
don't mess with
it's just
me.
that's just a movie about snuff films.
Give a
And you know
fuck.
what?
Yeah.
I need to make amends in case I ever said I don't hate a Serbian film on the podcast because I do think it's beautifully shot. I think it's a beautifully shot film. However, this memory comes from being 18 and watching it for the first time and thinking it was a beautifully shot film. Maybe if I watched it again today, I would think it's a terrible film. Um,
You would just be disgusted. You'd be like,
yeah. Do I think it's a film every horror fan should watch? No, probably not, because we all have different tolerance levels, and Serbian film is just made to shock you and disgust you.
I
And it
see.
serves its purpose. Um, but we also have real snuff films for that. I've never watched a real snuff
I
film.
was about to ask you if you've ever
No.
seen a real snuff film,
I don't
Sam.
I don't think I have. I think
I don't think
the
so
closest
either.
I've come are just like the disturbing films that are meant to replicate the feel of snuff films. I think they're called hamster movies. It's a very famous movie series that came out of Japan where it's just, body dismemberment. That's the whole point of it.
For real, huh?
Yeah. Again, it's fake snuff. I've never went out of my way to see
Ah.
real snuff.
Aha. Yes. Oh, okay. I see. I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. All right.
Yeah.
Well, damn. And then Serbian film is a film about snuff films, you're saying.
Yeah, so
Okay.
a Serbian film is about a porn star who gets drugged and gets dragged into the seedy underbelly of the porn world, like the most extreme, disgusting
Mm.
porn you could see, as in there's a scene where a newborn baby is birthed on camera and then immediately raped.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that just keep that with you the next time some horror bro's like, well, have you seen a Serbian film, bro? Yes, I have. And no, it's not really a great movie. It's very gross. Oh, and it the climax is they drug the porn star dad, and this whole time he's been looking for his family. That's why he's on this quest and in the seedy underbelly. And they drugged him and said, if you film this scene, we'll give you your wife and child back. And then they drug him and give him Viagra, and he does the sex act with the person underneath this sheet. He can't see the person until they pull the sheet away and it's his son, and he's been forced to rape his own son, and it's very
Oh,
gross. And
his son. It's not the baby again, is it?
no, his son is 7.
Ugh,
So it's still
God.
disgusting. It's
Jesus.
so I will
Wow.
say cinematography was really good from my memory. Everything else was very gross.
I see. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you saw it for the both of us.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
I had to choose to watch one very gross, overhyped horror bro movie
Yeah.
again, I would probably choose The Human Centipede.
Okay, I've seen the human centipede. I think I've seen,
I think I've seen all three.
I may have seen all three too.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen all three just because they were like on Netflix for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just like
Yeah.
out there. But I feel
Um,
like people lost their taste for that because that I feel like those were way too hyped. I'm sorry, we're getting away from the movie, but like those
mhm.
were like hyped a lot.
They were, and
And like, yeah, they were gross, but I feel like
I do
that's
think the
not too
first Human
bad.
Centipede is definitely overhyped for how gross it is. And
Yeah,
even the director
right?
felt that way, which is why he made Human Centipede 2. And he said, in making Human Centipede 2, I'm making the movie people think they're going to watch when they watch Human Centipede. And he accomplished that. Human Centipede 2 is much more graphic, and I don't have any memories of Human Centipede 3. Probably for the best.
What the fuck happens in two? Hold up.
A guy watches the first Human Centipede and is inspired by the actions, so he decides to do it himself. Only this time he's going to use 100 people.
Oh yeah.
So, Human
Of
Centipede's
course
fine.
he
I
is.
I can
Yeah,
watch
it's the black
Human.
and white. It's the black and
Yeah,
white
yeah.
one. Oh shit,
Human
that's right.
Centipede's fine. I can watch Human Centipede again because it's not that bad. It's
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 not.
not graphic at all.
It's not.
It's
Like
just
it's
gross
fine.
because they have to eat each
It's
other's
just
poop,
poop.
but
It's fine. And you don't even really see it. You don't see it.
no, no, you
You
just know
really,
what's happening.
you just know it's, I think that's what gross people are. And they're like, oh, I can't handle that. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I
Which
would
I
agree with
agree.
you. Yeah.
I agree. Poop is my hard no in
That's
horror, but
okay.
you don't
Yeah.
see the poop in Human
You
Centipede.
don't see the poop. You just see that they're just stuck like
I can handle poop when it's a concept.
the poop. Yeah. Yes. It is just a concept and you it's not tangible. It's not even there.
Yep. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to tame horror, good
Anyway, tame
horror,
horror. Maxine. Yes, there's no poop.
horror that I just have a good time watching.
Maxine was was really good. I really, really like that movie.
So anyway, he wants to save his daughter, so they
Ah,
try to
yes.
do an exorcism on Maxine. The detectives arrive just in time, and there's a whole shootout, and
Yeah.
um, the dad gets injured, tries to crawl away, and we're at the Hollywood sign because of course we are.
Yes, we're in Hollywood Hills. That's where all the cool culty
And
evangelists
Maxine
live. But yeah.
Maxine manages to free herself and chases her dad down with a shotgun,
Yep.
and um she has to make a decision. Is she going to kill her dad with the shotgun? And we see a vision of her future where she's credited as a hero for saving the city of Los Angeles from her father, and the premiere of The Puritan 2 goes great, and she becomes a star, and
Yeah.
everything works out for Maxine because she's not Pearl, and she's not going to accept the life she does not deserve. So she shoots her father in the head as she screams this
Yeah.
mantra that he taught her, which is it's a good mantra.
It is a good mantra, and I wanted to, and we'll talk about this in production, but I wanted to commend the fact that like there's not a whole lot of gore in this movie, but like when there is a death, like they really do a good job with that's like really good practical effects with like him getting shot in the head and then showing like the head explode because it's a
Yeah.
shotgun.
No, it was
And I was
really
like,
good.
whoa, cool.
No, that
So
was really good.
I was really pleased with that. I wasn't sure they were gonna like do that. And I was like, yeah, it's a horror movie after all. You know what I mean? So like people need to like shut up. It was fine. It was really
Yeah.
cool. They did horror stuff. Like it's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it felt like an 80s horror movie and I appreciate it. It was good. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
it's
that
cool.
Maxine didn't have a face off with the Night Stalker,
You
but
know what? I'm glad that the Night Stalker wasn't even like a character. Because I
I
would have been
like
like, yeah,
I appreciate that it was just a framing device.
yes, me too. Because if he was actually in it, I'd be like, seriously? You know what I mean? So I'm glad like I was maybe expecting it, but I'm glad that it didn't occur at all. It was
Yeah.
just a happening thing, like upping the anxiety of everybody because of the satanic panic thing. And so I thought it was really clever because it was the 80s. And so
Hmm.
excellent. Really cool. Really cool stuff. Everybody
Yeah.
did great. Bobby
Mhm.
Cannavale died. Kevin Bacon died. He got crushed
He did.
in a car.
We went right past that, but yeah, he did die.
He
We
did
talked about
get
how much we love Kevin Bacon, but didn't talk about his
Kevin Bacon.
character.
Yeah, he is like a
He
private
he's a
investigator
yeah,
guy.
he
Yeah.
was looking for her father.
Her father.
And
Yeah.
then
Ah, yes.
Gus, being oh so Gus and a good manager, has him
Yes.
crushed.
Yeah. The only thing I do wish though is I wish that Gus was calm Gus was like more in the movie so
Hmm.
we can see him be like way more badass because I feel like
Yeah.
him getting him crushed in the car like was cool, but I feel like it kind of came out of nowhere and I was like, oh, that's a
Yeah.
badass thing. I wish he did like more badass stuff.
I
That's
agree.
all.
And I
That's all.
like seeing Esposito
Uh,
play not the very monotonous Gus-like characters that I feel like he gets typecast into because he was so good as Gus.
yeah,
Um,
he wasn't like the main villain.
yeah, he was. I recall him being very charismatic in this movie
He's very charismatic. Yes,
because
very charismatic.
he's a Hollywood agent, so he's very
Yes,
charismatic, and I want to see him
very
do
charming.
more than just play different iterations of Gus that are less good than
Yes.
Gus.
Right. Or just like always like being like the super evil,
Yeah.
like mastermind. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh, well, if Giancarlo's in it, he's the bad guy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Um,
Let Giancarlo be a good guy, is all I'm
yeah,
saying.
he rules.
Well, but have you seen Abigail yet?
Why does that sound? That sounds familiar.
It's
Hold up.
it's the little girl vampire movie.
Oh, that's when she's like ballerina. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you told me that you really liked this movie. Is
Yeah,
he in it?
he is in it.
Oh, sweet. Is he the
He
bad guy?
he might be, but he's
Ah,
a different type of bad guy.
he's a vampire.
Yes.
You know how I
Oh
can
wait, shit,
tell
that's
because
supposed
his
to be a
name is
plot twist.
Lambert.
Oh, okay.
What a vampire name that is.
Can't get anything past a horror expert.
Sure can't. I was like, Lambert.
Oh, well, before we get into production, are
Yeah.
you going to go see Nosferatu with Bill Skarsgård?
Oh, yeah, Nosferatu. So you know how it is with me and going to the movies,
I
Sam.
know.
God damn it. I would love to go see this. Oh, Willem Dafoe's in it too. Wonderful cast. I remember when I first watched the original Nosferatu. Really cool.
Hmm.
Because I had like a vampire era. I don't think I ever left my vampire era.
No.
You probably didn't leave yours, Sam.
No, we just
Um,
pretend we did.
we just pretend we did because we watch other stuff, but
We
inside we're
didn't
like, oh
have
man, come
cardboard
on.
cutouts of Edward Cullen in our rooms.
No way, that's so weird.
That would be so stupid.
Only like a weirdo would do that. But
So
yeah,
weird.
so
I didn't want to
stupid.
try to buy one for the wedding as a homage to my childhood.
I'm so glad. You had it at the wedding, right?
No, because I
Didn't.
couldn't.
Oh fuck.
They don't make them anymore. I tried
Oh shit, that's
so
right.
fucking hard to find one, and I did find just like a Robert Pattinson cardboard cutout, but
Not good enough.
it was $75, and it's like,
Oh,
but it's
it's
not the
not
right one.
Edward.
It's not
Yeah.
Edward. It's just Robert Pattinson in a suit.
It has to be Edward purple shirt,
Yeah,
purple
that is the
t-shirt.
exact one it has to be. That's the one I had.
Me too. I
And it
loved
would
my
have
cardboard
upset
cutout.
my family so much to see that thing back.
I I don't know I think mine just got so tired of standing. It just
Yeah.
we had to get rid of it. So I feel bad. I wish
Uh,
I still had it. It would have
I
been like fucking 20 years old by now if I still had it.
they'd be worth a lot since they don't make them anymore and you can't find them online. But I decapitated mine.
You did. Yes, you were saying that you did do that. I can't
Yeah,
believe they don't make them anymore.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
like they should make them like isn't they when they make money? Like it's
yeah.
crazy to me.
And
Crazy.
humble listeners who may be new, I didn't just spontaneously decapitate him. It was my senior year of high school. I had had him for like 4 years,
Mhm.
and it was time for thespian initiation, where the senior thespians initiate the up and coming thespians in the drama club. And we had to make our inductees custom necklaces
Oh, cool.
to signify that they are inductees.
Uh-huh.
And so I decapitated my life-size Edward Cullen cardboard standee
Oh.
and put it on a necklace for my inductee to wear.
That's awesome.
So, so there was a purpose. I didn't just snap one day. There
They
was
are
there was purpose.
one day you didn't wake up and say, "Okay, I'm out of my vampire
Yeah.
era now."
I was like, I'm gonna go out of theater club with a bang.
With a bang, yes.
Uh,
Shit. But Nosferatu. Anyway, well, it looks like Bill Skarsgård is going to be Count Orlok.
hmm
And there's nothing I want to see more than Nosferatu being beautiful because Bill Skarsgård's got that look about
hmm
him. And then this beautiful girl who's like Johnny Depp's daughter or something, right?
hmm
Wild. Yeah. Lily Rose Depp.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, she's very pretty.
She's very pretty. But
Um,
can she act? That will
but
be the
can
real question.
right, is this her first movie?
I feel like it's her first movie, but she starred in the HBO Max show The Idol.
Oh, I heard that was like dumb because it was just
It
fucking
was, but
right.
she was pretty okay in it. And
Okay.
then I proceeded to get mad when I found out what the original female showrunner wanted to do with the show. And that sounded so
Ah,
much better, but The Weeknd got involved and made it all about him, and he can fuck off because the original showrunner wanted it to be about a Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana type who rose to stardom when she was really young, and then the fallout of growing up in the spotlight and now being a
yeah.
young woman who wants to be a young woman, explore her sexuality. And I'm just so
You
frustrated with that show and finding out what happened.
what you watched the show
I
then,
watched
The
some of
Idol?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called The Idol. It was bad.
It was bad.
It was
Okay.
bad, but
Damn.
she was okay. But we'll see how good she is. This could be her breakout role.
Yes, okay. I see the weekend. The
Yeah.
man, Mr. Weekend, is in it.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's
Anyway, production, we've been talking about production. The vibes of this movie are immaculate, very
yeah, yeah.
80s. Felt like I was transported back. I feel like anything set in the 80s don't fully commit to being set in the 80s, and this
This
did.
did.
Her hair was perfectly feathered.
Dude, they talked about like other horror movies in this movie, like
Yeah,
Psycho.
yeah,
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, whoa, it was cool. It was really cool.
yeah.
It was like the nerd guy friend that died in the
hmm
movie. It was like trying to be like a the movie itself, I'm so sorry I have to say this, but the movie itself, Halsey tells her, "You're never gonna be a star from in a horror movie." But
hmm
this movie, like or all the horror movies that Mia Goth is meant to project, the actress, to the forefront. So I feel like this movie is doing a scream and being satirical of itself and kind of like it's breaking the fourth wall of like horror movies themselves in a way. And it's
hmm
like it's really cool. So I've never seen a movie showcase Bates Motel and talk about it in a movie set
Yeah,
in that time. It was wild to me. I was like, whoa, okay, but that's all I gotta say.
yeah.
Okay. Whew. That makes
And the
sense, I
music
guess.
was really good.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think that helps keep me like really engaged because this movie was also longer, which I also
hmm
appreciated because I was enjoying it the
Yeah,
whole time. I didn't
I didn't
like get
realize it was
bored.
longer.
I know, but it was a little longer, and I was like, yeah. And sometimes when me and Sam watch a movie and it's too long and it's not good, we don't like it. So because it
Yeah,
feels like it's too long.
it gets frustrating. There's too many periods of nothing.
Yeah.
Too many
Yeah.
shots of the main character Google searching Native American burial grounds.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Um, yeah, that's all I have for production. There weren't many interesting notes like there were for the first two movies.
Yeah.
Real life horror, sex workers are more likely to experience violent crime than most, probably any demographic.
Yeah. It was cool that Maxine was such a badass though.
Hmm.
She like punched like Kevin Bacon with like the keys like in his face and that like ripped up his face and I was like, whoa, excuse me, that was so cool.
Hmm.
So she's such an icon.
She is.
Um, but yeah, sex workers. Also in the 80s because of the Night Stalker and that
Oh yeah.
there was a lot of like I'm sure there was a lot of like people that wanted to do that too. So like more
Yeah.
people who were crazy wanted to go out and like kill like the guy in the beginning who she
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
stomped his balls.
No, that's a really good point, and
Yeah.
actually a really great use of the Night Stalker is a
Yeah.
reminder that this shit was really happening in the
Right.
80s.
Yeah.
Like
Like legit.
this movie's fictional, but here's a reminder that this shit is real.
Yeah, like there really was like a fucking dude, fucking Ramirez or whatever his name is, just like yeah, running around killing people in LA because he was like a rock guy. And then in the beginning of the movie, we see this whole I like stepped out during the beginning of the movie, but I saw that they had like, like pop culture icons, like musicians and stuff, like speak on like, hey, we're writing this music and stuff like that. And it's has like, dark like themes, but we are not devil worshippers.
Hmm.
We're not like the Night Stalker who like worships the devil allegedly because he does like whatever markings on people and stuff. So yeah, that
Yeah.
was really that was that like the most recent like notorious serial killer who had like a nickname?
Honestly,
Can you remember anybody in the 90s? 'Cause I don't think I do.
when was the Green River Killer?
Whoa, I don't
I mean, there's a lot of small serial killers that don't have the notoriety as like a Bundy. And maybe that's
know.
just our personal fascination with the 70s and 80s. But
Mhm.
I feel like there's trickles of serial killers that don't necessarily make it to the mainstream.
Yeah. And
Um,
the Green River Killer was it says 80s and 90s.
okay, so he trickled a bit into the 90s.
What about
Um,
fucking the kid who Evan Peters just played him in like a show um and he was like gay and he killed only like gay
oh,
guys
Dahmer.
and ate them. Yeah, what was that the 80s too? Was this all the 80s?
I think that was early 90s. Well,
70s to 90s.
well, I mean, this is an interesting conversation to maybe research and have at some point for a mini show,
Yeah.
is because I often wonder where are all the serial killers? And I think it's because there's less lead in our daily lives.
Oh, that's a very good point. Like lead paint and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and like cleaner drinking water and like filters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Less less asbestos just being put
Oh,
in our
sh
houses.
So those people are fucked up in the head, like
Yeah.
legit brain damage and shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really a good point. That's a great
Yeah.
thing to take
So
into
that
consideration.
could be a fun thing to research for a future
Yeah, our
mini
brains are a
show.
little bit more healthy,
Yeah,
so we don't
where
have the
are the
need to.
serial killers?
Where are those serial killers at, and where are those nicknames? Yeah, but like honestly, like I don't know if it has anything to do with our technological era and the fact that like you may have nowhere to hide now
Hmm.
with that kind of thing. But back then, like you really were on the cusp of like nobody would know if you killed somebody,
Hmm.
you know. But anyway, Yes, that was just a portion of the movie. And to answer your previous question, I probably won't go to the movies to see Nosferatu. Please go see it for the both of us, Sam. I will see it when it's streaming, or maybe I'll rent it.
And
But I
you know
really
what?
want to see it. It looks
Maybe
cool.
I'll sit down and actually finish a script to do a solo review on it so you can hear all about it.
Yeah, it's
That's the
Robert
hardest part.
Eggers. Yeah,
That's yeah, the witch, right? The witch?
The
The witch?
Witch and
The
the
lighthouse. Yeah,
Lighthouse
okay. So it's gonna be
and
good.
the
It's gonna be so good.
Northman. I've seen all of those
Oh, I need to see the
movies.
Northman.
You know what, Sam? It's just okay.
Oh,
It would be okay if you didn't see it.
okay.
For real. I'm trying to think about what even happened in the movie, Sam. I don't know.
Okay.
Fucking know what
So
happened.
so I guess I would give this movie an yeah, that fucked me up.
Have you ever seen a picture of Robert Eggers?
I haven't. Is
You
he
have, or you?
I have not. Is he cute or does he look exactly what a horror director would look like?
He doesn't look like a horror director.
Oh.
He
Oh,
looks
I
like
oh
he looks
my.
like I
Hello.
don't what does he look like? He looks like a like
Chad.
a I'm looking at a pic. Okay, so he looks like he's like maybe like a tattoo artist guy, or like
I
maybe
agree.
looks like he's in a band.
I agree. He looks like a tattoo artist.
He doesn't he look like a tattoo artist, or like he maybe he's like a model for like a male men's clothes.
Yeah.
This is Robert Eggers.
Yeah, I'm looking at him.
Wow.
He's handsome.
He is handsome. He's not a bad looking guy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he did all kinds of cool shit. So good on you, Robert
Yeah.
Eggers. And he looks I like when they look nonchalant. My
Yeah.
favorite one is Flanahan. Looks nothing like a horror guy. Just looks like an unassuming nerd guy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Um,
Okay, but anyway, yes, the real
yeah.
horrors in Maxine would be those um, things regarding the real serial killer that was happening, sex workers, uh, maybe like being raised religious, but having like a fanatical religion, but like
hmm
that he accidentally like had a cult
Yeah.
happening as well up there. There was like 10 other dudes, you know what I mean? Like trying to like kill people who have sinned because of like
hmm
the sex work and stuff like that. So that's wild. Like
Yeah.
also like trying to kill your kid. That's crazy. Um, uh, um, nothing else.
Yeah.
Those are the major horrors.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing else like there's no other like subtle things. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So that is
So yeah.
cool. Maybe like another horror could be like they really alluded a lot to like whenever you want to be a star, you really have to like crush everything else and
hmm
make your life as an actor like your obsession. And
Yeah.
so trying to be ruthless and like how far would you go to, like have this role or do this movie. So like there's that aspect of like how far do actors go to like get a role or to like invest in their character or to immerse themselves in like what they're doing. So sometimes that can be like maybe a scary thing. Um so yeah, that's like a little bit more of like a gray area.
Yeah.
That's another discussion for another day. We're having a lot
Yeah.
of interesting discussions
Well,
tonight, which is
it's
cool.
been so long since we've
I
spoken.
know, I know. Yeah, we do talk about really cool topics that we come up with. So cool.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, if you want to go ahead and do the outro,
I got that pulled up. When does Nosferatu come out? Is
I think
that
it
out
comes
yet?
out Christmas Day.
Oh shit. Oh, that's right. That's right. It does come out Christmas
So
Day.
one of the reasons I kind of just want to do
Oh.
Christmas with David and I,
Ooh.
not that I think it's fair that movie workers have to work on Christmas, but it's also a nice tradition a lot of families have is going out to see the movies because movies are so fucking expensive these days
I
that a
know.
trip to the movies in and of itself is a very nice Christmas present. And
It
I
is.
one of the things I miss about spending Christmas with my family is that we did presents on Christmas Eve. So
Oh, yes.
we had a huge chunk of time before Christmas dinner that we would
Yeah.
go see movies.
Oh
And
man, that's cool.
so it's a nice tradition, but also it is sad when people have to work on Christmas, but also not, I feel like more and more in recent years, people don't give a shit about Christmas because the world is terrible. And I agree. I have struggled every year to find my Christmas spirit.
Yeah, I hear you.
But maybe I'll finally find it again working with kids. Never mind, we don't have classes all of December, so
Yes,
not
yes.
not this year.
Good. That's good. Yeah, this seems like a cool movie to see on Christmas. It's actually pretty interesting that he's choosing to do a horror movie on Christmas Day. So I'm interested to see how that turns out with like the like how many people will go and see it and stuff. Nice. Okay. Yeah. And then did you see, last question, did you see what's that other Dracula movie that came out about the ship that
Oh, I
Dracula was
didn't.
on?
I wanted to see it so bad, but
You know what I'm
I
talking
haven't
about?
yet. I
What is
know
that?
what
The fuck was that called?
the last trip
Yeah,
of
the
the Demeter,
Demeter.
something
The
like that.
the last
Last
voyage of the
I want to
Demeter,
see it.
Demeter.
I'm gonna watch it soon. I'll watch it
Just
eventually. Um,
watch movie. Okay, it is on Hulu Premium subscription. Oh, it's on Paramount Plus. But
I don't
premium
have
subscription, what does that mean? Like, what channel am I supposed to have?
it
God
means
damn it.
it means you've added Paramount Plus to your Hulu.
Ugh.
That's usually what it means. It's fine. We can wait because the next movie we probably have to review if it's on streaming is Terrifier 3.
Oh yeah, I did want to like I'm sorry, we can stop talking in a second, but like I did want to say because we were talking about the snuff films and the other movie, the
Mhm.
Serbian movie. Um uh and you were saying like you watched it and it was fine, but it also disgusted you. I'm like, well, I know we're like all disgusted about Terrifier 3. It's just in the theaters and we're like,
I've
oh, I'm too disgusted to even watch that movie.
I have heard the story gets better with this one. And so
That's what I heard. Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
looking forward to because honestly, fucking skip Terrifier 1. It contributes nothing to the franchise at this point, in my opinion. There's very
True.
little story. The surgeons didn't even try to fix Victoria's face.
I know.
Two was just so much better than one, and if it's true that three is better than two, I might complain less because I don't know, just whatever sound effects they use with this gore does make me nauseous.
Wait, I gotta say
It's
that
so squishy.
I know someone who saw it, and so I asked them to tell me all of the kills to spoil it. So I got spoilers. I know what the not all of them, but like I was like, just tell me the ones that everybody says are so disgusting. I want to know how disgusting is it really? And Sam, like it's not too bad.
Okay.
Honestly, you know what? I think that people are actually being a little bit too dramatic because if I were to describe to you these two kills that are so gross, you'd be like, oh, well, like actually, two might be a little grosser,
Hmm.
honestly.
Okay.
So I think
Well,
we're good. I think we're good to
I
go.
have heard there was an uproar that a child was killed off screen in this movie, and I guess Damien
Oh.
Leone has said he won't kill a child on screen, which I think is interesting because we have seen more recently in horror movies killing kids on screen.
Yeah, what
So,
movie have we seen a movie that kills a kid?
yeah, Halloween ends. The kid just falls
Oh
off,
shit, that's
and
right.
that was very graphic.
That was right in the beginning.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking know
That's
that
the
was
one
gonna
that
happen.
comes immediately to mind and just how graphic that was.
I totally forgot about that. But yeah, that's what fucks up that guy. That's why he's
But
like, I want to be
speaking
Michael
of
Myers.
excessively violent movies,
Yeah.
I In a Violent Nature is also finally on Shudder. So we should figure out, we could probably watch that before we watch Terrifier 3 if it's not available on streaming, but we will figure that out next week.
Yeah, I saw this. I feel like I saw this something about this on like social media or something because I
Yeah,
saw
it
an
was supposed
ask.
to have so it follows, most of the movie follows the perspective of the killer. And so I'm
Oh,
interested in that. And it
cool.
allegedly had one of the most violent kills in horror. So I was kind of hesitant because I'm
Oh.
not the biggest fan of Terrifier. It, but this one
Uh-huh.
looked more aesthetically pleasing to me. And I did see what I think is considered the most violent kill in horror this year. And it just
Oh,
is it
and
wrong that
what?
is it wrong that in a violent nature? Is it wrong that it made me laugh?
Wait, so
because
you saw the in violent nature already then?
I have not seen it, but I did see the kill. It
Oh,
ended up
you
on
watched the
TikTok.
kill. Ew. Well, if it makes you laugh, and that's what I'm saying. Like, whenever the person described me the Terrifier 3 kills, I was like, okay, well, like that's kind of funny. You're making me
Yeah.
like feel like it's like something that's funny.
Yeah, the
What, you
kill.
know?
So,
Yeah.
so the girl is doing yoga on the mountainside, and I don't know how he does it, but he like stabs her, rips through her gut, and then grabs her head through the hole in her gut and pulls her head through her gut. And I'm just,
Oh, is it
that's pretty,
like a hook on a
yeah,
chain?
yeah,
Oh, there's like a still of it. I'm like, Google, what the fuck? Google's
yeah.
spoiling it.
And I'm just like, oh, that's more funny than
Yeah,
it's
real
just
crazy.
scary. But maybe
Okay.
that's not the most graphic kill. Maybe there's something much worse. But I saw that I'm like, well, that's just completely illogical to how the human body works. So
I
that's
know.
just
I think they just try to do crazy shit. I think
yeah.
they just do that because they think it's funny. Like the
Yeah.
filmmaker, look, let's like what's like so weird that like you would never be able to do like, like her head could like go back through her own stomach
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, let's just do it.
So anyway, we should wrap up. There's so much horror we need to catch up on, but we will figure that out in the
Yeah.
days to come.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. So I do have the outro pulled up.
Good, I'm
Wow,
glad.
it's been a while since I've done this. So okay, are you ready for the outro now?
Hmm.
Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so thanks for tuning into our episode. We are the Real Horror Show podcast. Our host is Sam Odie, and I'm the co-host, Stormy Skies. The podcast was created by Sam Odie and Stormy Skies and is directed, edited, and produced by Sam Odie. You can find Sam on Instagram at Sam is Writing Stuff. You can find Stormy on Instagram at The Stormy Skies. You can find the Real Horror Show podcast on Spotify, TuneIn, iTunes, Google Play Store, Pandora, and anywhere you like to stream your podcasts. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you're always in the know when a new episode comes out. Follow us on social media. You can find the Real Horror Show podcast on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, and Blue Sky.
Woo!
Is coming soon. Woohoo! So, we do more than just podcasts. We love to write and have plenty of great movie reviews and essays, all of which can be found on our website, realhorrorshow.com. And we love hearing from our listeners. You can ask us a question or send us a movie request to review by DMing us on social media, or you can even send us an email at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Call for guests. Do you love horror movies? Are you a podcaster, a content creator, movie lover, or anyone in between who is a listener to our show? We would love to have you as a guest on one of our episodes. Reach out to us via social media DM or email us at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Our podcast episodes featuring guests are all listed on our website, realhorrorshow.com. We are so thankful for all of our listeners. You are the life force of our podcast, and we wouldn't really exist without you. Thank you all for making this podcast real and supporting us as we record every week. You can support us in different ways, such as liking and sharing our podcast episodes on social media. Giving us a review will help the podcast more than you know and will help other listeners find it too. You can also donate to Real Horror Show by visiting our support page on our website, where you can make a one-time donation via PayPal, buy us a coffee with the Buy Us a Coffee button, or explore our very interesting Amazon wish list. And any other pertinent news at this time.
Not at this moment. I have stuff
Hmm.
in the pipelines in the spring, but I'll share that
Ooh,
as it comes up. But
okay, cool.
yeah.
Yes. Well, the full moon is this Friday, you guys.
Oh
Um,
God, is that what's wrong with the kids?
Spooky. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, yeah. That's why it's so bright outside when you go to sleep at night and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, why is it so bright? And then it's dark
Oh my
and
God,
I get
speaking
up.
of chaos because of the full moon, I need to send you what Paul did yesterday.
Whoa. Oh, the baby cat. Yes.
He was on a fucking mission.
He was on. He was just going nuts. Um, but yeah, other than the full moon and me and Sam following up with the next episode of Haunting of Hill House, um, our outro song is called Creepy Doll by Jonathan Colton, and he can be found at jonathancolton.com. Thank you, fuck off, and have a swell evening. This is Real Horror Show signing off.
Hey.
Bye bye.